this is Full Game Prometheus, the only YouTuber that actually shows you full games of all the schemes and tips I post on my channel. I show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Guys, if you're new to my channel, I recommend hitting the subscribe button and hitting the notification icon so you can actually go ahead and see the new videos that I roll out. I roll out daily schemes where I'm actually going to be posting stuff, and I'm also going to be posting gameplay so you can see this live in action. The first formation I'm going to be breaking down, the first playbook I'm going to be taking a look at, it was widely requested, was the RAMS playbook. I've had that request over the years, and I've also had a request from the day that I had a survey out there. So RAMS is going to be the first playbook we're going to go with. We're going to use the gun stack halfback weak as our primary function. Now, as I showed earlier to you guys, this particular play, the bench switch, the concept of the speed out and the circle route on the left-hand side in the stack formation is very, very glitchy, and it can be easy for easy touchdown. Let's go ahead and take a look at the audibles, what comes in the RAMS playbook. And basically, these plays are just so sweet to actually have, especially when you have the play action jailbreak screens. So you have a screenplay that you can really screw your opponents up with because it's very, very effective. Also, we've got a fade out. Inside run, very, very effective, a good run, and then the curl flats. But we're really going to build the entire scheme around one play, and that's going to be the bench switch. We might actually jump into doubles, a double corner too, but for the most part, we're going to stick with the bench switch as our base play, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at the curl switch too. So that's actually just another way to attack your opponent. Levels is another play that we could take a look at in this particular scheme. So we're going to look at 3 base plays. I'm going to look at bench switch, levels, and then curl switch. So it actually forces my opponent to go ahead and defend certain things here. So let's get into the first play, which is going to be that glitchy route. This is going to be a base play I want to go ahead and use right away against my opponent and try to establish that I'm in charge in this offense. One of the things too is I'm going to switch my wide receiver. We're going to do wide receiver flip and put my best wide receiver, which is I think my number 2 wide receiver. We're going to put him in the slot position in the stack. So bench switch is going to be our base play. We're going to run this against random defenses. And once again, this play you can essentially just go ahead and throw deliberately to that little route right there. 9 out of 10 times you're going to get an easy completion. There's not going to be a defender in the area, and what you're going to do is get an easy 5, 10 yards, 15 yards. Sometimes you can house it too if he takes a wrong angle with the defenses. So very, very easy play to go ahead and use, and basically easy to go and pick up some fairly easy yards. Now, one of the things I do like about this particular play is that it does come with that little route underneath, which can be very, very effective against someone that might actually go ahead and take their defenders and try to put them in the area. So I've got the little blue route by the running back. So let's go and see if we get the right defense set up here, because we're doing random defenses, and watch how the blue route gets underneath, and then I've got a nice route that I can attack my opponent off of the flat on the right hand side too. So it really does give me a bunch of different levels I can hit my opponent with. I've got the seam, I've got the quarter of the tight end, which was wide open, just didn't get rid of the ball right there in that type of situation. But the seam route is going to be where the route is going to be at. That's going to be where your harassment route, and is going to establish the rest of your offense for you. So once again, I've got this little out route by the running back, and you have a good athletic running back like Gurley, he's going to be able to pick up some good yards. So if your opponent comes into a light box, what's great about this is you got an inside zone. And really what you have to do is just see if you got green, and depending on which side it is, you just go ahead and run that side. So we should have fairly good blocking, as you can see right here, against a fairly stout defense, which is going to be the Cardinals. I'm able to go ahead and pick up easy first downs right here. So also one of the things too is that you can go ahead and just take that ball back if the green blocking is on the other side. So I missed my hole right there because I was holding a turbo, but basically that's going to go ahead and give you the blocking that you need to be able to get the holes. So inside zone, very good. You guys run it. If your opponent's running a light box, just go ahead and just hit him with an inside zone. Make him respect the run. Make him make plays. Make him bring a safety down into the box and go and stop it. Now, the next play we're going to take a look at is going to be curl flats, and this is the way you can attack your opponent off the right-hand side. Now, you can pretty much decide in which direction you want to attack your opponent. You can go ahead and do a slant with your stack guy, which is going to be your number 2 or 3 receiver. And really what what we're going to do is we're going to look to the flat with this tight end. The tight end should be open against a lot of different types of coverages. And we're going to make our next read from there with the curl flat. So I like to go ahead and have a nice little crossing route on the backside right there. And if it is man coverage, that hitch route should be wide open, especially off coverage like that with your other wide receiver. So this is a very good, easy concept to go ahead and do that. I'll take the big slant route and put them on the backside like that. I've got the crosser right there that I can hit down. Now also there's a delayed route by the running back too that you actually can go and hit against your opponent too. So that's another thing you need to take in consideration, because he's going to be something you can go and hit. You're just attacking your opponent off to the right now, opposed to the left. He's going to have a hard time stopping this particular play right here, and it's just nice, easy concepts right there. No one falls in a flat. Go ahead and take the easy 5 or 6 yards. You want to get your opponent defending those flats, because generally they're going to get murdered up top if they try to do that. So once again, going to the flat. Nobody falls in the area. Just go ahead and take the easy yards. So the next play, it would be the jailbreak screen. This is a really good play to use against your opponent. And basically what we're going to do is just go ahead and get rid of that ball real quick. And if you've got a good athletic wide receiver like this in the right defense, he's gone to the house. He's not going to be ready for that. So once again, you're going to be hitting him with another area of the field that he's probably not used to going and stopping. And that jailbreak screen is extremely effective. Now with the next play, which is going to be the fade out. This play, you've got an option route by the tight end, and you also have Watkins' route. He kind of works a little bit like that. I don't necessarily like this particular play as much as I like the other ones. This is probably not a play I'm going to go ahead and run into a lot. Let's see here. Let's see if he comes across. He doesn't come across the middle right there. So that's the one thing about certain option routes with low, not a very, like low tight ends. Tight ends are not necessarily the best tight ends out there. They're not going to necessarily go ahead and make good plays for you. So this is probably a play I'm not going to jump into too much. So let's go ahead and jump into the other plays we're going to go ahead and pick in this scheme. And these are going to be some of the base plays we're going to pick, which is going to be probably the corner strike. And the other play we'll take a look at, let's see here, so is going to be the curl switch, but we'll take a look at the doubles corner. The doubles corner is probably a little bit better, and also levels here. So looking at levels is pretty much the same concept as his fade. It's just that now you've got this weird route by your number 2 wide receiver. And he's actually going to get in a good area of the field. So I didn't get rid of the ball. I got hung up on my offensive lineman right there. But let's go ahead and try this again. So as you can see, he gets weird separation. This works like that Denver rub route. It's just kind of the same concept that was back in 2017. And if the defender follows him, you just go ahead and dump it down to the running back back in the flat over there. So it's just going to be easy reads. I'm going to be pretty much looking at this guy right here, because the other routes essentially are going to work out as clear outs for me. So that's going to be essentially what I'm going to be looking at right there. Is going to be this route by Cup is going to be the route I'm going to be looking at, and he should get underneath the routes right there to actually get an easy completion, because he's just going to be underneath those routes just clearing out for you. So and then obviously you've got the running back that you could check down. So if a defender is playing that area, just go ahead and drop it down to your running back. Is supposed to be a block and release. I wouldn't really look to any other routes there. Maybe I'll go up top with this particular route. If my opponent's actually hovering over the middle, they've got a nice little crosser over the middle with Cup. But Cup is really going to be our first read. That's going to be the route that I'm going to try to go ahead and get my opponent to stop more than anything else. And then you've got the high levels up top with the next one. So let's go and jump into the next play right here. So the next play we're going to take a look at is going to be, let's see here, going to get out of concepts and go into stacked. And the next play we're going to take a look at is going to be double corner. And we're going to run this against random defenses. Now, there's a couple different ways you can run this. I Personally, I'm looking to try to develop that route concept on the outside with the corner route. So if nobody falls into the flat, I'm going to go there. I've also got this crossing right there that I actually force that ball into. So this is really, you know what, just keep it as is. Don't make any audibles. Just go ahead, just see if you can go ahead and get the outside. With the route, with the running back, with the wide receiver. He's probably going to try to cover that seam route that you've been abusing him with, and now this is actually going to go ahead and cut back inside. So if you establish a seam route against him, this route right here is just going to really drive him nuts, because now he's going to have to stop someone cutting to the outside, which he wasn't used to doing before. So that's what's really, really cool about this particular play. Now on the backside, you've got a flat circle route concept, and the flat route got stuck on a block, so he couldn't get out there, but that'd be my first progression. But I'd probably go and stay a little bit more off to the right side. That's going to be the ideal situation against your opponent in this particular play. So let's go ahead and jump into the last play in the scheme, and it's going to be the curl switch. Obviously, you can do basically a power O if you want to do that, but we're going to stay with the running game, with the passing game right here. Run against play action, and really our progressions are going to be the following. We're going to look for cup, which is going to be our third wide receiver, and then we're going to look to the flat underneath. And if neither one of those two guys are open, basically that seam should be wide open. Which by Watkins, for Watkins, because he's going to actually be wide open under top. So this is going to be the area that I'm going to go ahead and look at. I'm going to go ahead and throw that ball fairly quick, and hopefully I can get a good pass lead right there. But if a defender doesn't fall in the area, that running back route will be wide open out there in that area. And you've got a deep in route on the backside if you can get that ball off. I'm actually just forcing that into the deep, backside. But really the smart route is just to go ahead and focus on those two combination routes, which is going to be the deep comeback route, that little goofy comeback route. And then basically you're going to go ahead and hit the flat right there. So once again, getting pressure, trying to force things in there. But this is a route. For some particular reason, golf has been sailing balls on me. This route, I'm having a hard time completing it. So when I try to force it in there, it's very hard. But you got a table route, and that's where you want to go and jump into. So guys, I hope you guys appreciate this. This is going to be one of the first schemes I'm going to go ahead and show you in this game, just because I know it's going to be a very effective passing scheme that you can use against your opponent. You've got basically the jailbreak screen right here that you can go ahead and attack your opponent with. And oh man, I should have just cut it straight up. I would have been fine with that jailbreak screen. So you just go ahead and hit it like this. And with all the blocking right here, the sandwiches, you can get a nice, huge touchdown like that with the jailbreak screen. So once again, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to be rolling out more tips. If you want to get my tips in advance, subscribe to my Patreon. You basically need to get these tips way in advance, because as I crank out new schemes, you'll be able to get this. So once again, thank you for all the support, and until next time.